2, 3.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second English Language Expo 2022. My name is Reem, and I will be co-hosting the session for today, which is integrating critical thinking in an EFL setting. Sir Rehmatullah Kakar requires no introduction. He is an IELTS instructor, currently associated with RELO Pakistan. He studied MA ELT at Namal University and is currently studying MPhil in English at Iqra University. Sir Rehmatullah has been teaching English as second language since 2013. He has taught in various English learning institutions in Karachi. His passion in the field of study and research is why he has been associated with RELO Pakistan for quite a while. Thank you, sir. On to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Reem, for the wonderful introduction. And now let's straight go towards our presentation. So today we are talking about integrating critical thinking in an EFL setting. So let's first of all discuss the agenda of our session, that what are we going to discuss throughout this session. So throughout this session, we will be talking about critical thinking, and we will also talk about multiple perspectives, and we will talk about intercultural competence, and we will also talk about its integration in the lesson planning and then teaching and cascading. So let's first of all, we introduce ourselves, as Ms. Reem just introduced me very well. So now all of you people are requested to please introduce yourselves in the chat box. You have 1 minute to write in the chat box about yourselves.
It's amazing to see how so many teachers have logged in all over the world. I see teachers from not only Pakistan, but India, Nigeria, Sri Lanka, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Singapore.
Wonderful.
And the list keeps going on, from Australia, from the US, from Venezuela. Welcome everybody to our session.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, there are so many teachers connected and they are attending this session. Thank you so much everyone for joining this session. Now let's go ahead. What is critical thinking, do you think? I mean, we all are teachers and we all are highly qualified teachers, I know. And we must have, thought of this critical thinking, and we must have in one or another form discussed the critical thinking in our classes. So what is critical thinking according to you? Please write in the chat box. Yes, very good job. I can see a lot of responses in the chat box. Yes, Ms. Reem.
Yes, everybody has a different way of sharing their views on critical thinking. Some have told us it's cognitive thinking. Somebody's told us thinking out of the box. Somebody is telling us that we need to move away from the textbooks and think about the environment around us.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Nice.
Yes.
It's amazing. Very good job. Very good job. Thank you so much, everyone, for your input. Now, critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is actually thinking as free as possible. Whenever you are neutral and you do not want to take any side, so that thinking can be termed as critical thinking. Also, critical thinking distinguishes between facts and opinion. What is fact? What is opinion? This distinction is also helpful, or it is possible with the help of critical thinking. And also critical thinking is based on universal intellectual values. So whenever we are critically thinking about anything, so we keep the universal intellectual values in our minds. This is critical thinking. Now, there are different areas of critical thinking. What are the areas? Critical thinking can be used, it can be employed when we are speaking to someone or when we are reading a post. So if we are reading a post, we need to pay our full attention to the post. And then we also have to reflect before we respond to it. And also sometimes we have to offer alternatives. And sometimes if we do not understand the post, so we have to request more information. this is true in case of listening as well. If we are talking to somebody, so we do not directly respond to what we heard. No, we first of all pay our complete attention to it. We first of all try to understand the emotional side of the conversation as well. And then we also take an objective stance. So these are the different areas of critical thinking that we employ while we are speaking to someone or when we are reading any post, and the post requires our interaction. It requires our response. So what is the benefit of critical thinking then? If we critically analyze any situation and then respond to it, then interact with it, so we will not face any challenges. Like this identity wheel. If you pay attention to this identity wheel, every human being has different situations in their lives. For instance, we have our family identity, we have our religious identity, we have our professional identity, we have gender identity, and we have our socio-economic identity, etc. So many different people have different situations in their day-to-day lives, and all of our situations are different from the other. Our language is different, our word choice is different, our tone is different, our state of being formal and informal is different, and many things, and the products that we use in different situations are also different. Now that you understand that we have many different situations, so can you please now write me in the chat box, what different situations do you people have on your daily basis? Means if you look at this identity wheel and then take some idea from it, so can you tell me what different situations do you people have in your day-to-day lives?
I can see a lot of teachers have written that some of them are Muslims, some are Buddhists, some are practicing Jains, some are actually from a strong economic background. Some are saying that they are from a mixed ethnicity. Their parents and their grandparents are from different other places. We have Afro-Asians. Yes, it's amazing to see a wide variety of people and how so many of them are able to associate themselves with the identity. It's nice to see that everybody's learning something new today.
Very good job. Very good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, let's find out what is the impact of this. Now, see, culture. You people must have heard of culture. Now, we are going to connect critical thinking to culture. So let's first of all discuss culture, what culture is. So what, according to you people, culture is? Can you write in the chat box?
It's funny how everybody's talking about culture and food. You know, people are talking about different street foods. They're associating the regional foods as here. Some of people are telling us about the food that they grew up with. But culture is far more than just food and clothes and religion. Yes, sir,
Yes,
Rehmat.
that is true. That is true. True. Thank you so much, Ms. Reem. Thank you so much. See, first of all, when we hear the word culture, so these big cultures come in our mind, like the American culture, the British culture, the Pakistani culture, the Japanese culture, etc. Here today, the critical thinking and the cultural competence that we are discussing, we are not talking about the big cultures. We are talking about the microcultures. Now, what is microculture? This is one of the many standard definitions of microcultures. So let me give you a couple of seconds to read this definition and try to understand it for yourself. Then we will go ahead. Okay, so everybody now must have understood, everybody must have learned what a microculture is. Microculture is something where these three elements are the most important ones: values, beliefs, and behaviors. Now, let me discuss with you the 3P model. The values the values, beliefs, and behavior that we discussed here for microculture, they are actually the perspectives, the practices, and the products. So for this concept, we have a unique concept, we have a unique terminology, and this terminology is known as 3P model. The 3Ps that we have: perspective, practices, and products. In every situation, the identity wheel that we just discussed, so in that identity wheel, we had different situations. And in every situation, as we discussed, we have different perspectives, we have different practices, and we have different products. So when we are teaching our students in an EFL or ESL setting, so we must train them accordingly, that in every situation, our perspectives are different, our practices are different, and the products are different. So in this manner, they can pay full attention to every situation and every post, and then they can analyze it very well. Now, let's talk about multiple perspectives. Now, in one situation, the different perspectives and the different values, beliefs that we have, and the products that we have, they are interpreted differently. How? Because we have different perspectives. We have multiple perspectives in the world. Not two people think in exactly the same manner. Their thoughts are always somewhat different from each other. Like different people have different minds. And everybody looks at one situation or a picture from different angle and from different dimensions, as there are always many dimensions to one picture or a situation. And also some appreciate a situation, however, others do not appreciate the situation or a picture. Now, description and interpretation. What is description and what is the interpretation? Description is what we can see in a situation or in a picture, and interpretation is what we think of it. Now, for instance, in this picture, we have a lady and we have a small baby. Now, this is the description of the picture, that in this picture we can see a lady with a baby and there are some vehicles behind her. So this description will remain the same. However, their interpretation can vary. For instance, I can say something about this picture. I can say that this is a mother and a child. However, some other people could say something else. They might say this is a teacher and a student. Some other people can say that this is an aunt and a niece, etc. So the description remains the same. However, the interpretation changes. Then this picture. In this picture, if you see, so the description remains the same. Like there are some people sitting on the table and they are operating or they are watching something on their computer screens and they are attending a presentation. So this description will remain the same. However, their interpretation can vary. Like some people can say that this is a college class or a university class and some adults are learning computer. On the other hand, some other people can say that this is an office meeting where the manager is presenting to them some presentation and they are discussing some new plans regarding their office, regarding their operations, and the colleagues are in front of them, the subordinates are in front of the manager and they are interacting with them. Now, if you look at this picture, so in this picture, what we can see is there is a glass and some water in it. Now, some might say the glass is half full and some might say the glass is half empty. Again, it is the interpretation that changes. Description remains the same. Now, when you go ahead and look at this picture, so in this picture, we can see that two people are in a very good mood and they are walking between so many people and the other people are all wishing them. So this is the description. This description will remain the same. However, their interpretation also varies. Now, some people might say that this is a wedding ceremony. Others might say that this is just a party, a birthday party or something. Or some might say this is some situation happening in the US. Others might say this is happening in Italy, etc. So the point is what? Description remains the same. However, interpretation changes. Now, it's your turn to interpret these pictures. So you have around 1 minute. Please write me in the chat box regarding these pictures. You can see picture 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the descriptions will definitely remain the same. Can you please interpret these pictures? We will find out right now in the chat box that how different people have different ideas and different thoughts regarding these pictures. So over to you, please.
It's amazing how some of the people have interpreted and are connecting with picture one, saying it reminds them of their deceased parents, their grandparents, somebody, a lost loved one during COVID Corona time. It's talking about how they see their future with their own spouse when they retire. Picture two tells us about a brother and sister. A lot of people are saying it's a brother and sister, some, two classmates in college working over an assignment. Picture three talks about gardening. I see a lot of people are saying it's a couple who is gardening, somebody who's connecting, trying to go outdoors, moving away from indoors. Picture four, majority have written the same thing. It reminds them of their college and university life and how much they're all missing the college and university life.
Wonderful, wonderful, very nice interpretations. So now you can see in the chat box, everybody can see it for themselves that different people are saying different things about each picture. So this proves that in a situation, the description remains the same. However, interpretation can vary. So this is where we talk about intercultural competence. So what is intercultural competence? See, we critically, first of all, analyze any picture or any situation in order to deal with it successfully. And this successful interaction, this successful dealing with any situation, with people in any situation, is known as intercultural competence. Now, for instance, we have diversity in our social context, in our social life when we are playing any game. So not only people from our same ethnicity are there are always people from many different backgrounds and many different ethnicities with many different, type of habits and mindsets and cultural backgrounds and educational backgrounds, etc. So if we would like to be successful in any situation such as social setting with anybody, so that requires critical thinking. So if we critically analyze this situation right now, where we can see people from the Muslim communities and we can see from some Chinese communities and people from the West, we can see, and we can see people from many different places. So if we would like to be successful, we first of all have to know about each cultural background. Once we know about each cultural background, which is possible with the help of critical thinking, only then this intercultural competence is possible. When we go ahead, this picture tells us that political contexts are also diverse. Now, if you look at this picture, so there are presidents or there are political personalities from many different countries. There are people from Saudi Arabia, and a Russian president can also be seen here, and the Chinese president can be seen here, and the ex-president of America, Mr. Donald Trump, can also be seen here, and the German vice chancellor and the Turkish president Erdogan and many other presidents can be seen here. So the point is what? The point is all of these people are coming with some specific mindset. All of them are coming with specific languages. All of them are coming with some specific cultural backgrounds. So if all these people would like to be successful and they would like to have intercultural competence, so what they need is they need critical thinking. They have to critically analyze the partner or the situation and then interact accordingly. So this is not only for these people. Of course, these people are highly educated and they are highly trained. We are actually learning from this context. So this is for our teachers, for our English language students, and for everybody, that we must be mentally prepared for every situation. Now, why is it not appropriate to have the same perspective or the same practices or the same products in every situation? The reason is this. Now, if you look at this picture, so this picture reminds us of everyday walking that we do in the morning. we go jogging and we wear such kind of clothes. But if you look at this picture, is it appropriate to wear these same clothes that we usually wear for jogging? I think it sounds or it seems a bit inappropriate. We should not be wearing shorts while we are going to our offices, or while we are wearing some formal dress, right? So this is the inappropriacy. Now, if we are in our offices and we use the same language that we use in our social context, that will be inappropriate too. And if we use the same products, if we have the same perspectives in our offices or in our classes that we usually have with our family, so that will also be inappropriate. Now, there are different cultures, and in different cultures, the greetings are in different ways. Some people shake hands and some people just bow down and they do not shake hands. And we must know this thing. Also, now culturally competent people do what? They do exactly the same thing what the cultural people do. For instance, if we are in a new culture, like we are in Japan, so we should avoid shaking hands. The better thing is that we bow down in front of them in courtesy. Similarly, when we are in places like Pakistan or Saudi Arabia or in any Muslim cultural state, so there we should avoid we should avoid shaking hand with females. Now, can you people tell me, like on your daily basis, have you ever met many different people from many different cultures? Now, please write in the comment box and also tell us how successful have you been if you meet people from different cultures. Please write in the comment box.
It's nice to see that we have teachers from different countries talking about their EFL settings where they have taught. For example, we have a teacher from an EFL teacher from Russia who's talking about how she spent a year in China, and she was teaching Chinese female adults, and then she went on to teach small groups, and how she had to adopt and adapt the different perspectives, products, and cultures, and the food, the way of greeting in her teaching experience. Then we have teachers from Spain who spent a small time in Belarus. Then we have teachers from US spending some time in Saudi Arabia. It was difficult. A majority are saying that initially it was difficult. Some are saying it was easier because they had done some earlier research and it was easy for them to successfully interact with everybody. So this is
excellent.
good.
Excellent. Wonderful. 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 So nice of you, everyone. Thank you so much for your responses, for your wonderful responses. Now, applying it locally. See, whenever we have to discuss anything, or whenever we have to learn anything, so what we do is we try to apply it locally. Now, today, as in today's session, we are definitely be learning something new. So if there is anything new, we first of all try to apply it locally. Now, what is local application? Local application is possible if we critically analyze the microcultures, how we can do everything on our daily basis successfully. How can we be successful in every situation? We can be situation only with the help of critical analysis. So we have to first of all critically analyze the situation and then make sure that we understood the situation. If there is any confusion, any difficulty, any thing unclear, so what we should do is we should ask questions. The person who is in front of us, our interlocutor, we can ask them questions in order to clear up something or in order to clarify our concepts. And then we should also analyze the emotional sides, because like it is always said that males and females have different emotional backgrounds. Now, for instance, if we look at this picture, so here we can see a male shaking hand with a female and an adult shaking hand with a child. So here the emotional side is very important. So analyze first of all the emotional side. Now, if you are in the West, you can definitely shake hand with your female partners, with your female interlocutors. But here in Pakistan and in places like Iran and in places like Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia, many other Middle Eastern countries, So females would definitely avoid a shaking hand because this is just because of their cultural background. Similarly, if you then go to Indonesia maybe and some other cultural places where where women do not shake hands, so we should avoid shaking hand with them. This is possible with the help of analyzing the emotional side. But then in the West, there is no problem. One can easily shake hands. So we know this. Once we know this thing, we can critically analyze that what place we are in, and then we can interact accordingly. Similarly, now you can look at the other picture where an adult is shaking hand with the child. So we have to be very polite towards children because children are too good. They are cute, and we always have to encourage them, motivate them. So the factor of motivation should always be there when we are interacting with children. This also counts in the emotional side of our analysis. So overall, what we can understand is that cultural background is important to learn. Critical analysis is important to analyze any situation. And critical thinking is very important in order to have cultural competence in every situation. Now, what we can do being as English language teachers, we should accommodate each and everything here in our lesson plan. We should first of all learn about our topic. What am I teaching? So if I am teaching critical thinking, cultural competence, and everything in my EFL or ESL classes, so I should first of all accommodate, and I should first of all do some research and make some notes regarding the critical thinking and try to accommodate it into my lesson plan. And also, I should know who my students are. I should first of all find out the diversity that my students have. Maybe my students are from many different ethnic backgrounds. They are from many cultural backgrounds. Maybe they speak many different languages. Maybe they have different religious backgrounds. So I should first of all learn all these things, and then my examples and my sentences and my situations that I will be creating, everything should be according to the diversity in my class. So in this manner, we should accommodate everything in our lesson planning. And then why? Okay, now the question also arises, why is it necessary to accommodate topics related to critical thinking in our lesson plan and in our ESL and EFL classes? The reason is that critical thinking is one of the most important 21st century skills. Okay, so as I just said that after reviewing our lesson plans, we must make some adjustments, some necessary adjustments to our lesson planning, and then we should go ahead with it. So for the next time when we are teaching, we should be teaching the revised version. The revised version, so that we have already fixed the issues, and if there are any problems, so we must have thought of those problems carefully, and we must have come up with the necessary information. We must have done the necessary research, and then it should be introduced into the class. And then from then on, we can be ready to teach our classes with the help of the planned lesson and the well-adjusted and the excellently adjusted lesson plan. So a reflection is the most important thing in our day-to-day life. Our students should also learn to, reflect on what they are doing. And how is it possible? It is possible when we teachers, being as their English language teachers, when we do everything accordingly, when we do the reflection, and when we become a role model for them, only then they will also be doing exactly the same thing. They will be working on critical thinking. They will be paying attention to the cultural side, and they will also be trying their level best for the cultural competence. Finally, in this manner, what we can do, we can evaluate our course to aid critical thinking into it, because it is one of the four most important skills, the 21st century skills. As I explained it, as I said it earlier, that in the 21st century, there are some most important skills that are required. So here we can see there are 4 C's. The first C is communication, the second one is collaboration, and the third one is critical thinking, and the last one is creativity. If in today's world, in this 21st century, people do not have these skills, they cannot be successful. So this is very important for this reason to this is very important for this reason, I'm sorry, to have our students learn these skills, which is here in front of you people. And then the final thing is cascading new knowledge. What is cascading? Cascading is sharing, actually. Whenever we attend any new session, whenever we learn any new thing, when be it through physical trainings or webinars or any formal course in some university or some language school or anything, we must share it, because cascading is sharing and sharing is caring. If you care for people, then definitely you will share your newly learned information or knowledge with them. In this manner, we can benefit them. If you people are interested in learning about cascading, so RELO Pakistan has these sessions on their YouTube channel. You can easily go and watch and attend the webinars and the videos that are available, and you can learn this. Now, thank you so much. That's all from my side and from Reem's side. If you people now have any questions, so please feel free to ask us the questions, and we will definitely try our level best to answer the questions. Yes, if you have any questions, please write your questions in the chat box.
There's a variation of questions. Some of them are asking again to elaborate a little bit more on the critical thinking. Some are saying that the C's have increased. The word choice is also there, because now when you give students choice to critically think and be creative, you get a far more better result in their assignments, in their approach to collaborating as a team, being good team members, being a good team worker, being risk takers, being caring, kind, and considerate towards each other in a classroom, and being empathetic towards their peers. Along with that, having a big, being empathetic towards their teachers as well. It's lovely. It's great to see, wonderful to see such amazing answers. Thank you so much, teachers. Thank you so much, participants.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So that's all from our side. Now, thank you so much. And if there is anything else that we can do of the forum also, so you can contact RELO Pakistan, and RELO Pakistan will definitely coordinate with you people, and they will try to help fix your issues regarding the critical thinking. Thank you so much. And that's all from our side, and inshallah, see you then. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.